Welcome back, everybody. If you haven't seen the protest going on in Mexico right now, it's in Mexico City, it's at the presidential palace, and it is thousands of people. It's absolutely huge. It's going to be recognized internationally. Here's a clip. This is the kind of the panoramic view, so you can see the whole scope of the situation. You can see, too, here along the presidential palace, Sheinbaum built a wall. Isn't that funny? She complains about the walls America builds, but she's so happy to build one for herself when she feels that protesters are coming her way. This is the hypocrisy of some people on the left, though, because that is a far-left government that still embraces hugs, not bullets, as much as she tries to pretend that she doesn't. So getting back to the protest, it will be recognized internationally because there are three things coming together here. There's Trump and his willingness to send in the military and his subtle threats, although they aren't outright threats. He's been saying he's working together with Sheinbaum, and she's been playing it off a little bit like she's giving into it, but she's still standing off and trying to claim and hide behind national sovereignty. But regardless of that, we have Trump putting pressure on Mexico to change things just the way we want him to. We have Lily Tellez, the Mexican senator there, going on Fox News, making everything you see here, blasting it in front of everybody's face, blasting the corruption out there so everybody knows about it. Here, another clip. And then we have this protest right here. This was supposedly put together and run by mostly Gen Z of Mexico. I think we can be honest and say that everybody there of all ages is suffering and they are at this particular protest, but Gen Z in particular does have a big gripe in Mexico, and that's very understandable. If we really look at it, Gen Z is the next generation or the current generation with the most to lose in Mexico right now because they don't have anything invested. And if they're going to get a job, what they're going to need to do is see a local cartel. For example, if they're in Cancun, cartels tend to run Cancun, and they're going to have to get a job with them. What does that lead to ultimately? Well, definitely not a 401k and a pension plan. Same goes in other places like Michoacan, where cartel mining is so prevalent. Get a job there. What are you looking at? Well, you're looking at conditions that we experienced here in America in the early 20th century. Most places, unless you're born into a privileged family in one of the few cities that is genuinely affluent in Mexico, you're going to be suffering, and your only future as Gen Z is dealing with the cartels and either becoming a cartel member or working for them. Both futures are terrible. So how did this all start? What was the catalyst? What really made all these people get together? Well, that's this guy right here. Carlos Manzo. He was mayor of Uruapan, I hope I pronounced that correctly, in the state of Michoacan. Here's a little clip.
A mariachi band played and the mayor's hat rested on a horse's back, a final tribute to a leader described by residents as devoted to his community.
The bad guys no longer wanted to be attacked by the mayor. He was actually achieving a lot for us, the citizens, and for Uruapan. He was accomplishing many things. That's why they killed him.
Manzo's widow, Gracia Quiroz Garcia, pledged that her husband's work would continue.
Even if they silenced his voice, they won't silence this struggle. They won't, because we will carry on his legacy.
Authorities said the mayor...
And there he is at the Day of Dead celebration. So he was being afforded some security because he was speaking out against the cartels. Everybody loved this guy. He was popular. He was a thorn in Sheinbaum's side because he was always putting the corruption up in everybody's face and asking her to help him. Like Sheinbaum typically does, she played both sides. She straddled the fence and pretended that she was giving him something that would really protect him. She gave him a little security. However, the cartels were too strong, and we all know where this was going. The good news is this guy was genuinely righteous, and people loved him so much that now it's becoming something international, because this is what Mexico needs right here. This is what the people of Mexico really need. There needs to be a giant flashlight right now shining down on the cartel. To clean up Mexico, it's going to involve more than just the federales and a fake president pretending to do something while she's not doing anything. And it's going to require more than Trump going in too. Trump going in is also shining a flashlight on the situation. It's catching people's attention. It's helping, but realistically, this is going to have to be a global effort because the cartels aren't just in Mexico anymore. They're in Canada. They're in Africa. They're in Europe. They're an international organization. This is no longer, not that it ever was a small problem, but this is no longer just a local problem in Mexico only. So this is how it started, basically. It was Carlos Monzo, and it was in right here, Michoacan, in the city of Uruapan. I can't pronounce that word. This is the weirdest set of syllables and consonants in the weirdest order for me. However, it's right down here in dark pink, and as you can see, this area too was considered one of the most dangerous cities in Mexico. Here's a little article titled The 10 Most Dangerous Cities in Mexico. If we go down, we can see Colima, for example, Tijuana. It's amazing that people party in Tijuana too, right? How many San Diego State grads go down there for a weekend or something to sip tequila and risk their friggin' lives? Number 9, Uruapan. 9th with 81 murders per 100,000 people annually. Absolutely insane. And if that isn't crazy enough, take a look at this. According to Global Conflict Tracker, Criminal Violence in Mexico here, this little article, right here, Mexico faces a crisis of kidnappings, disappearances, and other criminal violence that has left over 30,000 people dead each year since 2018. 30,000. Now, American troops in Vietnam didn't lose that much over the same period of time. And American troops only, by the way. I'm not including the opposing troops. The opposing troops lost a lot more. But what this comes down to is this is a war. Come on down here real quickly, if that is enough. As of May 2024, cartels control about 1/3 of Mexico's territory. I think this isn't a problem. This is above and beyond a problem. This is not something that is just not controllable by any government. We need U.S. intervention here, and then we need a global wake-up call. Hopefully that's what we're getting with this protest here. So we know about Carlos Monzo. We know that he was loved, and we know that he was the inspiration for this protest, and we know how Gen Z is suffering and how they're out there and trying to grab attention to this. We also know that Mexico has a history of corruption and how far the cartels have spread, but Sheinbaum, do we really know Sheinbaum? Let's take a look at what she's doing and what her problem is, because this was her response. After Carlos Monzo gets killed through all the corruption, this is the way she responds.
Regresar a la guerra contra el narco no es opción. No es opción.
No option.
Primero, porque está fuera del marco de la ley. Todos estos de la derecha que se llenan la boca de las palabras Estado de Derecho y defienden la guerra contra el narco. Pues la guerra contra el narco está fuera de la ley, porque como lo dije o lo he dicho en varias ocasiones, es permiso para matar, sin ningún juicio. Regresar a la guerra contra el narco.
So according to Sheinbaum, this is her logic, and you can see how easily this would really upset anyone. She can't bring in the law because to bring in the law would be unlawful. I mean, that's really what her logic boils down to. We can't bring in the law because if we bring in the law, we're going to have to kill people, because she's completely dodging the fact that this is what the cartels are doing, slaughtering their own people. And she's saying, well, if we bring in the law, then that would just be unlawful. This is just the most ridiculous logic. If I were living in Mexico right now, I would be out there protesting too. I look at these guys and I feel bad for them. And the people down there, it's just a shame. This is how she got elected too. This woman is so corrupt. I mean, AMLO was corrupt. The left, it would kill me how the left would praise him, because they would go, look at his popularity reports. Everybody in Mexico loves AMLO. He's so popular. And what the left would be lying about is the fact that it was the cartels who were producing those popularity reports for him to keep him in office because he was their puppet. Well, this woman isn't even doing that. They just forewent that script, and now they are just assassinating people to get her in there. Look, in her election, this is an article from a while back when she was in the process of being elected. Mexico's election is now the bloodiest in its modern history after a candidate running for local office in central Puebla State was murdered on Friday at a political rally, taking the number of assassinated candidates to 37 ahead of Sunday's vote. Incredible. I mean, blood was shed to get this woman into the presidency, and since she has been in there, she is covered for them. She is hidden behind this national sovereignty thing because she thinks she's going to cower beneath UN rules. She thinks that UN's going to come running for her to help her if Trump ever does actually intervene. And Trump's already planned for that, by the way, too. He's been a master strategist. He's worked well with the CIA. He's already found the loopholes that could be used to counter her measures that she's using with claiming national sovereignty. It's such a shame. Getting back to the actual protest, what can be concluded here? I think we should be happy that we're seeing this. No, things aren't going to change in Mexico right away. But the process had to start somewhere. Process like this wasn't going to start at the voting booth. It wasn't going to start. It was never going to start with casual conversation. The social contract in Mexico has been decimated. But this protest is something that is going to bring national and international focus. Let's hope this keeps going. Let's hope Trump jumps all over this and gets the military down there. Let's hope she tries to bring in the UN, because once she does bring in the UN, international attention is going to be brought in, and people from other countries who are also suffering at the hands of the cartels are going to step up as well. And that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and please subscribe, like, comment, do all those things that I need, please, because I'd like my channel to grow. Thank you.